Ivan Tors produced a vague trilogy of science fiction titles in the early 1950s. Gog was the final of the three, and easily the superior of the three. A silly film about murders taking place in a New Mexico government facility, which turns out to be the responsibility of the two experimental robots featured in the screen caps. It is, in my opinion, a far better directed film than The Magnetic Monster and Riders to the Stars, the other two entries in this small set. Producer Tors and director Herbert L. Strock did a very considered job framing and colouring the film, decent art design, competent production values for independent 1950s American sci-fi, despite a relatively rubbish script. For typical 1950s American sci-fi, cliche, though in colour, vivid sets, a saccharine PSA culture, and time travel, despite being set in the past's future, zeitgeist time travel, Gog is rather good, I think. There are almost two types of cliche 1950s American sci-fi that an average audience expects to, retrospectively view. The colour film, large sets, dynamic effects, and something which attempts to be, in the context of the 1950s, sincerely futuristic. And then the black and white, seemingly cheaper, disguise the poor paint job on the props, typically small town or Southern Californian wilderness set, with a small cast and a few goofy costumes or plastic models. Gog is more in that, I suppose, classier colour realm in my view, despite being extremely silly, closer to a Forbidden Planet when worlds collide or a 4D Man in that production context as opposed to a Man from Planet X, even Day the Earth Stood Still, or, some Roger Corman title. For example. Gog is worth watching if you are so inclined. At 80 minutes or so in length, it cannot take up too much of your time if you're feeling as though you may enjoy it. Thanks all, I hope you're all well, have the best day you all possibly can.